Preston Mahon isn't just some random figure in the band's past. For years, he was the man standing between One Direction and the chaos that followed them everywhere. From screaming fans to packed arenas, he kept Lewis, Harry, Niall, Zayn, and Liam safe on their rise to global superstardom. Now 54, Preston has been fighting a far more personal battle, a serious decline in his health. What started as a routine knee surgery turned into a terrifying discovery. Doctors found a clogged artery in his thigh, and even after an angioplasty, his artery reblocked. Even worse, the NHS told him they couldn't intervene until the situation became dire, meaning bypass surgery or even amputation. You can imagine the fear and the desperation building as he realized he needed life-saving surgery in both legs, costing more than £30,000. With his savings gone and the situation growing more urgent by the day, a close friend set up a GoFundMe page in hopes that the world might step in where the system couldn't. And slowly, donations began trickling in. But the clock was ticking. Preston faces constant pain, and without the second operation, he risks losing mobility or worse. He spent his entire career taking care of other people, including stars like Simon Cowell, Leona Lewis, Boyzone, and Westlife. Yet he found himself in a position no one wants to be in, asking for help not because he wanted to, but because he had absolutely nothing left. "I've never asked for money," he admitted, "but my savings are exhausted, and I desperately need this surgery." It was a vulnerable moment, shared with the hope that someone, anyone, would hear him. And someone did. When Tomlinson came across Preston's situation, he didn't hesitate. No long statements, no public campaign. Lewis simply stepped forward and donated an incredible £4,000, over $9,000, to help bridge the cost of the surgery that could save Preston's legs and future. To some celebrities, that might seem small, but to Preston, it was everything. It was unexpected, it was heartfelt, and it came from someone he once protected during some of the wildest years of global fame. Lewis has always been known for being quietly generous, often donating behind the scenes. But this moment struck fans deeply because it showed that the bond between him and the people who supported One Direction wasn't just professional. It was family. When Preston saw the donation, he was overwhelmed. No dramatic reaction, no staged response, just genuine emotion. "I'm so appreciative," he told reporters. "It means the world to me. I wasn't expecting that." And in a world where celebrities are often accused of forgetting the people who helped build their success, Lewis did the opposite. He stayed connected. He stayed loyal. Right after the donation, Preston reached out personally to thank him. Imagine the weight lifted off his shoulders in that moment. The feeling of knowing someone remembered him, someone cared, and someone wanted him to keep fighting. It wasn't just money, it was hope. Preston went on to share just how much the One Direction boys still mean to him. He spoke about how he reunited with Lewis, Harry, Niall, and Zayn exactly a year ago, under heartbreaking circumstances. They had all gathered at Liam Payne's funeral, a moment none of them could have imagined back when they were touring the world together. Preston described it as both the saddest time he had experienced and a strangely meaningful reunion with the boys he had protected for so long. Those few hours reminded him of how strong the bond between all of them once was, and clearly still is. That connection is what made Lewis's act of kindness feel even more personal. And Lewis's donation didn't just help financially, it lit a spark. Once fans discovered the contribution on the GoFundMe page, donations from all over the world began pouring in. Suddenly, the total began climbing, crossing £11,000 in a single weekend. Directioners showed up the same way they always have, united, passionate, and ready to support anyone connected to the band they grew up loving. Fans left messages for Preston, cheering him on, sharing their gratitude for his years of keeping the boys safe, and expressing how moved they were by Lewis's generosity. It turned into a chain reaction of kindness, proving yet again how powerful this fandom can be when someone needs help. Through it all, Preston has been open about the pain he lives with every day. He explained that after the first operation in Spain, he felt like a weight had been lifted, only to learn that the problem wasn't gone, just waiting to come back. Now, I desperately need this second operation to live without pain, he said. Imagine knowing that every step you take could be the one that leads to severe complications, or waking up each day wondering whether your legs will hold up. His doctors told him plainly, without surgery, he risks losing mobility entirely. The stakes are not small. This is not cosmetic. This is life-changing, and in the worst-case scenario, life-ending. And yet, despite everything he's facing, Preston remains incredibly grateful, humble, and hopeful. He acknowledges that he wouldn't be asking for help if he had any other choice. His financial resources are gone, spent trying to fix the damage the first operation revealed. His family finances have been overwhelmed, and the window for intervention is closing fast. But, thanks to Lewis's donation and the growing support of fans, the goal is slowly becoming reachable. Every person who donates is helping fight against a future where Preston might lose the ability to walk, or worse. Each contribution is a step toward giving him back a life without constant fear or pain. So what do we take from this story? At its heart, it's not about fame or even about money. It's about loyalty. It's about kindness when no one is watching. It's about someone remembering the man who protected him when the world became overwhelming. Lewis Tomlinson didn't just donate. He reminded Preston and all of us of the power of compassion. And in doing so, he inspired thousands more to step up. If you want to help, the GoFundMe remains open, and every bit brings Preston closer to the surgery he desperately needs. Stories like this remind us that even in the middle of pain, there are moments of genuine humanity, and that sometimes the heroes we watched growing up turn out to be even better people than we imagined. Imagine waking up to find out that one of the world's biggest pop stars has quietly stepped in to save your life. No cameras, no press, no flashy announcement, just pure human kindness. That's exactly what happened when One Direction's Louis Tomlinson shocked fans and friends by donating a huge sum to help the band's former security guard, Preston Mahon. Today, we're diving into this emotional story of loyalty, generosity, and a bond that survived long after the world-famous group went their separate ways. And trust me, this is a story that hits deeper than you might expect, revealing just how far someone will go to help the people who once protected them. So settle in, because what Louis did for Preston is not just a headline, it's a reminder of what real compassion looks like.